Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Football Betting Podcast. I'm your host, Tom Pipkin, and I'm joined as ever by my co-host, Tom Walker.
Hi, guys. Welcome to the show, audio and video listeners / watchers / new / old. Everyone, welcome.
Yeah, for the video people, well, for the audio actually, shouldn't it? Kit Wars today. I am in Inter Milan's latest strip. You are in Korea, a pink Korean kit.
Yeah, I'm not physically in Korea, but I'm wearing a Korean kit. I think it's the home kit, maybe the most recent one, not sure. But yeah, on Twitter, we will be doing our Kit Wars, where I have a comfortable 4-0 lead. And the loser at the end of the season gets kicked off the podcast. That's the punishment.
Yeah, well, you better make the most of me, guys, whilst this season is still going. Because I'll be surprised if I win 1 week.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe you can get the Italians to back you up. But yeah, Tom, last week, coming off the back of, we didn't read out a winning treble as such. We'll get onto that in the future. But we read out some absolutely red hot outside tips. Red hot.
Yeah. If only we'd put a treble on Chelsea, Chesterfield, both teams to score, Cambridge and Forest.
Bloody hell. We'd be retired. Yeah, we'd be retired. Yeah, when Chelsea Chesterfield is the worst of your outside tips out of the three, you know you've done a great job.
Yeah, big time. So that was good. We'll recap the bomb-proof trebles in full at the end of the show, as usual. We are, again, as ever, sponsored by our good friends at Matchbook.com. And good news now. So, Tom, you alluded to it on Twitter, which people may have seen, that there are a few little slight changes, or a slight change to the podcast this week. Do you want to tell them about it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so moving forward, so for the longest time, we've done 2 trebles, 1 each per week. Regular listeners will know when the docket is shriveled and it's a little shorter because of maybe internationals, etc. We've done a joint treble. So you guys won't be any strangers to the fact that now we're going to be doing 1 treble. And not only are we going to be doing 1 treble, it's going to be exclusively enhanced by Matchbook. So they're going to give you the best price around. You can go on all your favorite odds, check a website, and check it out for yourself. It will be the best price. So if you have any faith in me and Tom, then you can get the best price through Matchbook. The treble is already preloaded on the website. It's so easy to do. It's literally 1 click, and then you put your stake in. So yeah, we're really excited to be able to bring you guys even more value courtesy of Matchbook.
Yeah, and as an addition to that as well, you can use the sign-up code at Matchbook, TFB Podcast, and if you use that sign-up code, you get a £20 risk-free money-back as cash bet. So you can sign up for Matchbook, deposit £25, then use 20 of that £25 on our bomb-proof treble, and if it loses, you get your money back. If it wins, great. You know, you're in the money. So it's a risk-free chance to try out a bomb-proof treble, try out Matchbook, and you could, with 20 quid on it, you could get some decent money at the end of the day.
Yeah, 100%. So great initiative from Matchbook. We want to thank them for their support on that. And yeah, hopefully we get some great feedback from the profit chasers. So yeah, 1 treble this week, Tom, which will be revealed towards the end of the show. But after the FA Cup action, we are back to regular league play.
We are. We've got Premier League, Championship, League One and League Two all coming up. We'll go through Premier League one by one as ever, then pick out our highlights from Champ, League One and League Two. Start off with the Prem then, shall we?
Yeah, I'm ready to go, mate. Ready to go. I found...
Ready to roll.
I'll be honest with you, I did find the Prem a little bit tough, but I'm confident I've got quality over quantity.
Yeah, well, that's absolutely fine with me. It starts on Friday. Brighton against Palace. Derby to kick us off here on Friday. 2.14 for Brighton. 3.35 as a draw. 4.1 for Palace. I wasn't really sure on the face of it. You've got both sides in not bad form, really. Derby, you never really know which way it's going to go. I came down on the side of both teams to score, actually, rather than anything in terms of the outright result. 1.95 are the odds for both teams to score. Great price when you consider 8 of the last 9 games have been both teams to score between these two. So I'm just going off that trend again. There tend to be a lot of 1-alls, 2-1s, the odd 3-1 in there. Palace has scored in all of the 9 consecutive meetings, going back to, I think, early 2018. And Brighton have just failed to score in one. That's when they lost to Palace 1-0. So, yeah, I could see another both teams to score again, the way these two sides are playing.
Yeah, I got nothing else to add, mate. You read absolutely everything out, and I'm totally on board.
Okay, Saturday then, 12:30, City against Chelsea, big game. City, the home side, the favourites, 1.72. The draw's 4.1 and Chelsea are 5.5. Pretty big outsiders here. Man City on a run of, what are we now, 11 consecutive wins in the league. Can you see a 12th against Chelsea?
I think so. I think if I was going to, I mean, if you're doing your research for this kind of game, you'll quickly learn that Chelsea's record on the road this season has been really good. And that did put me off a slight bit. But yeah, Man City, everly dominant in pretty much every way. They are by far and away the best team in the league this season. And obviously Chelsea, we've seen that they've got a couple of issues. I am not going to take, a couple of wins over a poor Tottenham team and a FA Cup win over Chesterfield as anything to, fight the Chelsea corner. City for me.
Yeah, agreed. Chelsea as well, only 1 clean sheet in the last 9 games. That was the 0-0 draw against Wolves. We've seen them concede quite a lot of goals, really, across their last bunch of Premier League games, which has become quite unlike a Thomas Tuchel Chelsea side. But yeah, if they're struggling again to keep clean sheets, then yeah, Man City could definitely get 2 or 3, I think, here.
Yep, totally.
Burnley, Leicester then. Burnley 3.15, the draw 3.5, and Leicester 2.5. It's not a bad price, really, for Leicester, I didn't think, 2.5. I'm really worried about Burnley. They just don't seem to be showing anything. They've sold Chris Wood now to relegation rivals Newcastle for 25 million. No wins in 8 for Burnley, and I just look at Leicester, and although they're not in fantastic form, but they've got plenty of goals in them. We saw 4 against Watford in the FA Cup. They beat Liverpool before that 1-0. Even when they lost to Man City, conceded 6, but they did score 3. Likewise, before that in the EFL Cup to Liverpool, conceded 3, but also scored 3. So, yeah, I don't think Burnley have the firepower, despite how leaky Leicester's defence is being, to score 2s, 3s. But I could see Leicester getting a couple or 3.
Yeah, definitely. I think for me, this is Premier League bet of the weekend in terms of value and just kind of oppositions. Burnley are in an absolute mess. I feel like it's not really being paraded around as much, but they're in an absolute state. Just lost at home to Huddersfield in the FA Cup with a strong team. That's pretty much maybe 80-85% first teamers. As you said, Chris Wood gone to a relegation rival. They haven't won in 8, and they haven't won since October. And yeah, as you mentioned, I went through and I picked out, Leicester scoring 4 against Watford, 1 against Liverpool, etc. I did the same research as you. I fear for Burnley long term, and I definitely fear for them this weekend.
Yeah. Big game at the bottom then next. Newcastle against Watford. 2.12 for Newcastle. 3.7 for the draw and 3.75 for Watford. 7 losses in a row across all competitions now for Watford. Without a clean sheet in 18 consecutive games. This is a big opportunity for Newcastle to get a win over a relegation rival. And 2, Ranieri must be halfway out the door, surely, with Watford's record with managers.
It's got to be, Annie, on the chopping block.
Surely.
I honestly thought they looked better under Cisco. to be
Yeah.
honest with you. I think I said at the time that I thought it was a bad appointment, and I think I'm going to be proved right. I don't think he'll survive much longer. The thing is, yeah, Watford are so bad. Why don't I still fancy Newcastle? Why? I mean, you just
Well,
read out, 7 losses in a row, blah blah blah, and I still can't fancy Newcastle, and I still can't tip them at home. They're that bad.
well, if I had to pick, I'd go for Newcastle.
Why?
You'd like to think, in the game against Cambridge where they lost 1-0, they were kind of missing that target up front, that focal point as a striker, and Chris Wood will hopefully come in to provide that in the absence of Callum Wilson, and maybe that might help them a little bit or get over the line here. But yeah,
Maybe.
they need more, but if Trippier can whip in a free kick or a corner onto Wood's head, happy days for
I feel
Newcastle
like
fans.
both teams deserve to lose this weekend. Yeah, I don't fancy either of them. I don't fancy any result. I was looking at goals. I was looking at absolutely everything, double chances, and there's nothing that I can, put my neck on the line and say, this is what I recommend. Absolute
Well,
dog's dinner, this one.
that's fair enough. We'll move on from one dog's dinner to another one for me. Norwich against Everton. 3.85 for Norwich to get the win, 3.55 for the draw, and 2.12 for Everton. Two teams here in no sort of form whatsoever. I couldn't pick a thing from these two, to be
No.
honest.
Again, Everton, they're playing against bottom of the league. They're playing against. I mean, I'll read out the stat that I dug up on Twitter. They've played 20 games, Norwich. They've scored 8 goals. The worst team in Premier League history, officially, Derby County. That squad, by the same stage, had scored 10. That's the kind of level we're at with Norwich. And I still don't fancy Everton. It's criminal. How's a team or a club with that much investment and that much prestige and heritage? How is their front 3 or front 4 going to be Calvert-Lewin, fantastic player? I wish I could rotate him for Rondon just to make my argument even stronger. And then a 3 behind him of Damari Gray, who's been fantastic, and Josh Townsend, who is a flash player, right? Every now and then he'll score from 30 yards. People will think he's good. And then
Yeah.
El Ghazi. Like, how has that happened? They were better when they had no money.
Yeah.
They honestly were.
Right. Yeah.
They were better when they were the poor underdog trying to break into the top 4. But yeah, absolutely. Again, goals, double chance, match result. I can't fancy anything here. I really can't.
Yeah, fair enough. Wolves against Southampton then rounds off the 3 o'clocks. 2.38 for Wolves, 3.6 for Southampton, and 3.25 for the draw. Do you fancy either of these?
I hope you do. Because I don't want to shortchange the Premier League listeners, but this is another tough one.
Yeah, well, what I was going to go for, and this is not strong, whatsoever. I reckon this is going to be 1-0 to Wolves.
Okay.
And that's very specific, but I'm looking at the stats between the two sides, how they're both playing, the forms they're in. Southampton haven't kept a clean sheet for 10 consecutive games, so therefore I think they will again concede here. And Wolves have had 10 consecutive games that haven't been both teams to score.
Okay.
So by that argument, I think Southampton will concede. And then because Wolves don't have any games whatsoever that are both teams to score, they're going to win 1 or 2-0, surely.
Maybe not. Obviously, Wolves have been absolutely brilliant this season at the back, but you're kind of picking this at a bad time with Southampton. They've just decided to start scoring goals all of a sudden, and they're on good form themselves. I get where you're coming from, but again, don't mean to be too much of a fence sitter, but I'd rather read out quality tips than than try and pick something from every game just to fill a show. It's not one that I'm confident with.
Okay. Are we going to be picking more splinters out your backside here, or are you going to pick something for
What
Villa
game?
against Manchester United?
Uh,
3.05 for Villa, 3.55 for the draw, 2.48 for United.
can't back either team. You can't. How can you back either team? United much better away from home than they are at home. Obviously, they've just beaten Villa in the third round of the FA Cup, a 1-0 win. But United clearly major issues. Villa, sure, Coutinho's an eye-catching loan signing. Is he the player he was? I don't know. I haven't watched him intensely for a while, and I feel like Villa are kind of unpredictable. They're in that classic mid-table spot where 1 week they look great and 1 week they throw in a loss. Again, maybe both teams to score. I think maybe we could go down that route, but realistically, this is a coin toss. I'm sorry, it just is. Spade's a spade.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I'm the same. Feel exactly the same. Could go any which way. Toss your coin. Sunday though, Liverpool against Brentford. Liverpool are priced at 1.32. The draw 5.9. Brentford are 12.0. You'd think Liverpool should win this one, but is there anything else that you might want to look at to get a bit more value?
No. Just Liverpool. I think it could get heavy, for sure. I think despite the AFCON absences and all that stuff, like Liverpool's team is absolutely fantastic. I have no idea what Klopp is talking about. I don't know if anyone's seen, by the time this pod goes out, the team for the EFL Cup. Bloody hell, it's like 99% full strength. It's just missing Salah and Mane. I have no idea what this guy's talking about. Brentford, really worried about them as well. They've probably got enough points on the board to survive relegation and just pick up the odd win here, there and everywhere. But when Southampton score 4 for the first time in 78 games against you, I think alarm bells need to be ringing. Only Norwich have conceded the first goal more than Brentford. Norwich have done it 15 times, Brentford 13. And if you go behind it against Liverpool, there's no coming back. There's no coming back for me. Yeah, Liverpool, short price, but they'll win it very comfortably.
Yeah. Liverpool and over 2.5 I'd flirt with 1.94. Or even Liverpool and over 1.5 is 1.51. Either of those are getting a little bit more than the on the nose price, because I don't think Liverpool will just win 1-0. So
it's true. You squeeze
price up a little bit, yeah.
You're squeezing the lemon, aren't you? Yeah. I get that. I totally agree. I think it could get messy.
West Ham Leeds then is the next game at 2:00 on Sunday. 1.68 for West Ham, 4.3 for the draw, and 5.4 for Leeds. I've got to say, I put 3 West Ham players in my fantasy football team. Jared Bowen captain.
Attaboy.
I can't wait for that section of the show today.
Are you back in West Ham again then?
Yes. West Ham 1.68. Yes, I can't back Leeds anyway. The form they're in,
I know, rubbish.
Just rubbish at the moment, aren't they? Leeds are lucky that there's 3 or 4 other terrible sides in this division this season, because they'd be in trouble otherwise. West Ham for me 1.68.
Yeah, we've spoke about Leeds before, how we think at home they're still capable of getting results. They still put on a decent show. But away from home, they've won 1 of 9 this season, and they've won 1 of the last 6 in all comps. And that was against Burnley at home. And we've just mentioned we're really worried about Burnley. So I know you can only play what's in front of you, but that almost puts an asterisk against that win. They're really struggling. They even need this season to end with them still a Premier League side and kind of go again under Bielsa, or a new tactic needs to come in, or I'm not sure what the problem is, but they don't look good. And West Ham, I think, will get a 3rd win in a row in all comps at home.
Yep, me too. Finally, then, the last game to cover in the Prem is Tottenham against Arsenal. 2.46 for Spurs to win the North London derby, 3.35 for the draw, and 3.3 for Arsenal. And I was looking at this, and I'm I'm leaning towards Spurs at 2.46. Historically, Arsenal, I didn't realise they'd been this bad actually in North London derbies, especially with Spurs. Um, in general, they've not kept a clean sheet against Spurs for 10 consecutive games. In North London derbies, playing away at Spurs, so either the new or the old Tottenham Hotspur Stadium or Wembley, they've only actually won one of the last 13 games in the Premier League, that is. So they don't have a good league record playing away at Spurs whatsoever. And I feel like I trust Spurs a bit more at the moment than Arsenal. Very hit and miss, aren't they? You know, we've seen them perform well, but lose late on to City. Then they lost to Forest. I know we played really well, but they did still lose to Forest. And now in the cup, they're kind of ground out a 0-0 with 10 men against Liverpool. So I feel like they're a bit all over the place.
Yeah. Again, I'm sorry, I can't go for either team here. The Arsenal double chance is the only thing that leaked out on the page for me personally. 1.62 is the price, and I'm not very happy about it, to be honest. I want to know, and I'll know after the Tottenham game, which is why I'm not necessarily pushing this. How much of that Forest performance was true? Was that a one-off? Was that because it was a championship team? Was that a motivational issue? Like, was that because they played maybe 3 or 4 kind of rotation players or youngsters? Not 100% sure. Before the Forest game, if that didn't happen, I think I would be more bullish on this Arsenal double chance. I haven't been impressed with Tottenham recently. I feel like these are two teams that are coming off the back of some wobbly form. Tottenham have just played Chelsea back to back and barely laid a glove on them, to be honest. It was so one-sided. It was embarrassing. And obviously they went behind in the FA Cup against Morecambe. Of course, they came back. Good for them. But, you know, that wasn't exactly a squeaky clean performance. I'm more on the side of Arsenal. Son Heung-min, my boy, is going to be missing as well through injury. That's huge. So, yeah, I'd be double chance Arsenal 1.62, but my God, am I not confident.
Yeah, probably best leave that one alone then.
Yeah, it'll be a good game, though. I can't wait to watch it. Yeah, can't wait to watch it.
Okay, then that wraps up the Premier League. Let's just take a moment to talk about our sponsors at Matchbook, and then we'll cover the Championship, League One, and League Two.
Yeah, so as Tom mentioned at the top of the show, we are really grateful to Matchbook for their continued support of the Football Betting Podcast, and they've got the exclusive sign-up offer, the free £20 risk-free sign-up offer. So as Tom mentioned, you need to deposit £25 into Matchbook. You need to be a new customer. And of course, just like the rest of the show, you need to be over 18 to qualify. And then you need to pick a bet. We recommend our enhanced treble, as we will reveal towards the end of the show to do so. If it loses, you're going to get your money back as cash. So if you want to take that and run, you can do so. But yeah, TFB Podcast is the code, and we would really appreciate any support, and we highly, highly recommend checking it out at matchbook.com.
Yep, it's worth saying we'll put the link to the treble on our social media as well. You can find it if you navigate through the Matchbook website under the podcast specials, I think it's called, section of the website, but we'll put a direct link to it as well on social media.
Yeah, T_FB podcast is the Twitter handle.
Yep. Okay. So, right, let's dive into the champ. Who takes your eye here? Hopefully more than what did in the Prem.
Yeah, for sure. Apologies for the amount of splinters, but let's start with the team with the best away record in the league, priced at 2.42 on the road. It's Bournemouth. Tom, when you think of Luton, do you think that it's a tough place to go? Like, without doing research? Because I do. I visualise a tough game against Luton, and I
Yeah,
visualise big teams falling, and like if you get a win at Kenilworth Road, that's big. Do
yeah,
you
yeah.
concur?
Yeah, if Forest went away to Luton, got a nice 2-0, 2-1, I'd be like, oh, that's a good result, that is. Yeah.
Right. Well, it's absolute rubbish. Their home record is the 15th best. They've got a worse home record than Derby County, Preston North End, Bristol City, and Millwall. It is purely on how the stadium looks and feels, and the fact that you don't get a comfortable changing room and all that kind of stuff. Because on the
Yeah.
pitch, they're miles off their expectations. The recruitment, data-driven analysts, XG people, and myself included, I thought they'd be doing a lot better. Thought they might be dark horses for the playoffs. They find themselves in 16th. They're closer to the relegation zone than they are the playoffs currently, points-wise. And they've been a real mixed bag at home. I don't think they are anything to be scared of. Bournemouth, as I said, best away record in the league. They've lost 2 of 13 on the road, winning 7 of them. They've had the occasional wobble, for sure, on the road recently. But I think the sample size of 13 games, and for them to only lose 2, is strong enough where we can take that as an average into a Luton team that is not hitting the heights.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. Good research. You're displaying the myth there.
Yeah,
I
it's
like it.
absolute rubbish.
Yeah, I like it. Decent price for me. Potential championship price of the weekend, perhaps. Blackburn away at Cardiff. 2.72 of the price for Blackburn, which seems quite a lot. We could always go double chance and drop it down a little bit for Blackburn or draw if you want a little bit more security. But in Blackburn, this is a side who in the league, they're unbeaten in 9 consecutive games, winning 7 of those, drawing 2. And they're playing Cardiff, who have got this woeful record defensively. 24 consecutive games in all competitions without a clean sheet now for Cardiff. That's absolutely shocking.
It's rubbish.
Absolutely shocking. Uh, and this is a Blackburn side who are more than capable of scoring 2 or 3. We've seen what Brereton Diaz has been doing all season long. And they've got plenty more who can chip in with goals as well. So, if this Cardiff side are struggling again defensively, Blackburn could very well take advantage. If Blackburn get 2, can I see Cardiff getting 2? I don't think so.
Yeah, I earmarked this one as well. Cardiff, worst home record in the Championship. They've got just 7 points at the Cardiff City
Wow.
Stadium this season. Of course, because they're in Wales, they'll be playing behind closed doors. 0 fans in attendance for COVID reasons. Will that help or hinder? Not sure. But 7 points from 11 games is pathetic. So
It's rubbish.
it's terrible. Tom, when you think of Millwall away, do you think that's a tough place to go?
Oh, here we go. Yeah, you do, don't you?
You
Again,
do.
come
You
on,
do. Right?
bust another myth for me.
I'm going to
Bust
bust
it.
the myth. I am. Because their fans shout at the players and they've got this reputation for being, the football factory hooligans, it's not a tough place to go. It's just not. On the pitch, it's 13th best in the league. That is average. That is mid-table. That is winning some and losing some. And their opponents this weekend, Nottingham Forest, are priced at a monstrous 3.45 to get a win at Millwall. And Forest have got absolutely nothing to be scared of. The Reds have got the 3rd best away record in the league. They really enjoy kind of playing from home, where the onus is slightly less on them. They can exploit the gaps with the wing backs, with the pace of Brennan Johnson and Jed Spence, etc. Forest have been really active in the transfer market recently as well. So you can expect to see Steve Cook, Keenan Davis, Richie Larea in the starting lineup. And potentially, this may be Jed Wallace's final game as a Lion, as he looks like he might be securing a £2 million move to the Reds. So there's that little wrinkle as well. But yeah, coming off the back of that morale-boosting win against Arsenal, it makes it easy to forget the last two league losses for Forest. But I want to be abundantly clear, the Middlesbrough loss was a total and utter domination and completely, thoroughly deserved. The Huddersfield game, Forest lost 1-0. They should have won 5-2, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It was an absolute pepper on steak performance. And Forest 3.45. Take away the fact that Millwall have got some hard nut fans. This is a game that I expect Forest to win.
Yep, completely. And what do you do if you're either Forest or you're Jed Wallace? If you are potentially going from Millwall to Forest, do you say, "Hang on, I don't want to play this game just in case like I break a leg or something like that," or
Yeah.
if you're subsequently if you're on Forest and you've got to mark Jed Wallace or whatever, you kind of if you're Steve Cooper, you're kind of thinking, "Oh, don't go in too hard on him or something," don't.
I think if you're Jed Wallace, he's been Mr. Millwall, hasn't he? He's been their best player for years and years
Yeah.
and years. I think he has way too much respect for the club and the fans to not try and score a hat trick and beat Forest 3-0, to be honest with you. And a good performance as well will only probably, maybe it'll get him an extra £100 goal bonus. I don't know. But yeah, I think both sides have just got to go for it and pretend, he could fail his medical, right? And then it will all be a waste. So yeah, you got to go hell for leather.
Yeah. Okay, for me then, a couple more that I like in there. One of them, I'll leave one to you. I know you're pretty big on Middlesbrough, so spoiler there. I'll leave that one to you. Preston against Birmingham. I like the look of Preston. You got this Birmingham side who I feel a bit deceived. Partly after the start of the season, we were thinking, this is going to be a really tough team to play. They're going to be a good, solid mid-table side, potentially pushing upwards towards the playoffs. They've been crap. They've been rubbish. Absolutely rubbish.
They have.
Especially away from home. They've got one win in the last 10 away league games. They conceded 4 to Blackburn last time they played away from home. Before that, 3 to Millwall, 2 to Hull, a game before that as well. So they're really in some shocking form away from home. And Preston seems to be getting a bit of a new manager bounce under Ryan Lowe. He's come in. The home form is generally pretty good. They've lost 2 of their 11 home games all season, won 3 of the last 5 at home. So I think, you've got this team in poor form classically in Birmingham against a team who played pretty well at home in Preston on that new manager bounce. So I think Preston at 2.02, a fraction above evens, should get another 3 points this weekend.
Yep, totally agree. Really looking forward to seeing what Preston can do in the, I suppose in January, but more realistically the summer, and see where Ryan Lowe can take them, because there's definitely, little signs, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely.
I think, Tom, if someone said to me, listen, you got to put your life savings on a result this weekend from the top 4 English leagues, I think I would put it on Middlesbrough. I think they're playing Reading 1.52. They're playing at a level at the moment that shouldn't worry the playoff teams only. It should worry the top 2. Second in the last 8-game form table, on the brink of the playoffs. Borough haven't lost in 7. Those 7 games include the following teams, which make it even more impressive for me: Nottingham Forest, Blackpool, Bournemouth, Stoke, Huddersfield, Swansea, and Mansfield. And Mansfield are League 2, but Mansfield have the best home record in League 2. So it's still a tough game. But yeah, they haven't lost in those 7. Reading haven't won in 5. They're coming off a 7-0 battering by Fulham and a FA Cup loss to Kidderminster, which in terms of league positions was the biggest upset of the 3rd round. They are dying. The fans are dying to have Paunovic removed. Maybe that's the right decision, but I think that the problems go deeper than that. They've got some criminal injuries to some really key players at the moment. and they obviously have the financial troubles where they're getting points deducted and they can't bring in the caliber of new player required. Reading traditionally, in the past, since we've been doing this podcast, started in, I think, January 2017, Reading have always tripped me up. Always. They're a team I've never been able to put my finger on for years. So that's the only one thing, the only wrinkle that would stop me back in Middlesbrough with everything I have this weekend.
Yeah. You'd think they look like a pretty sure one, don't they? I think don't want to spoil anything for what's to come, but as I was going through all the games, this is the one for me that jumps out as this is the banker.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, if
Surely.
I can guarantee you, if when I, obviously being Forest fans, right, I watched that game, I bought my iFollow pass to Middlesbrough Forest. If Middlesbrough put in 60% of that performance, they will win at a canter. If they put in 100% of that performance, they'll win close to 6-0.
Yeah.
I'm that confident. But again, Reading are just one of those teams where they'll go there and win 3-0.
We hope not. Let's hope not.
Yeah.
Any more from the champ for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's 1.25. We got to highlight Fulham at home to Bristol City. How many teams come off the back of their second 7-0 win of the season?
Mental, isn't it?
When does that happen?
Mental.
Yeah, Craven Cottage, third toughest away day in the league. Bristol City, fourth worst defence in the league. They've conceded more goals than Barnsley, Tom. And they haven't lost any of their last. So they haven't won any of their last 5 away from home. Fulham 1.25. I think it's pretty much of an obvious one.
Yep. Okay. Any more, or shall we move to League One?
Yeah, League One for me, where again it's quality over quantity. I will let you take the pick of the field first.
Yeah, I was going to say exactly the same. I've got 2.
Same.
Bunch.
I've got
So
a wild feeling these are going to be the same too.
Potentially. Well, Wigan is the obvious one, isn't it?
Of course.
So we've got Wigan. Wigan are playing away at Doncaster. They're priced at 1.46. So quick scan. I think they're the shortest price of all the League One teams this weekend. Yes, they are. But understandably so. Doncaster still rock bottom of the league. 4 defeats in the last 5 games. Wigan, no losses in 14. They sit 4th in the league. They're 5 points off top, 5 points behind Sunderland in second, and they've got 5 games in hand. So they're in a fantastic position, aren't they? Right now, as it stands, they're going to have a hell of a fixture congestion down the line. But they in the league, they're in a fantastic position where they're well and truly consolidated in the playoffs with all these games in hand. They're just 5 points off the automatics. It's a good, promising time to be a Wigan supporter, and they should get another comfortable win away against bottom of the league this weekend. It'd be a surprise if they didn't. Wigan have got the best away record in the league. Lost just 1 of their 10 games away from home, winning 8. So yeah, should be a comfortable one.
Surprise is putting in mildly, I think. Honestly, I think I would pass out if Wigan didn't beat Donny this weekend. I think the other one, Tom, that I've got is a good price, to be honest. Ipswich. They are.
Same here.
Yeah, they are 2.32 away at Bolton. Tom, I am here to bust another myth.
Yes.
Right. So when you think of Bolton, you think that they are maybe mid-table if you don't look at the league table often. Maybe you think that they are performing decently, just going through a rough patch. You need to reset your mindset if that's what you think about Bolton, because they are in a relegation battle to preserve their League One status. Since Ian Evatt said that they are the best team in the league, they have spiraled out of control. Honestly, they are 2 points clear of the relegation battle. They are below Cambridge, Shrewsbury, Cheltenham. These teams that, in your mind, if you don't look at the league table, you assume they're down there struggling and Bolton are above them. They're not. They are a relegation fighter, and we need to start looking at them and treating them like the bad team that they are. Ipswich have really clicked into gear under McKenna. Their last 3 results in particular, last 4 results, I'm pretty impressed with. Creditable draws against Wigan and Sunderland, a win over Wickham, and an absolute thumping of Gillingham shown me that they've got the quality to go to a similar assignment in Bolton. I think Bolton are in slightly better nick than Gillingham, of course, but it's a similar assignment. I think Ipswich can go there with no fear and pick up a win. There's a couple of good away side prices this weekend in the EFL, and Ipswich are one of them, 2.32. Yes, please.
Yeah, completely agree. What I would say about Bolton, I like the sign of Dion Charles, so
Yeah, it's good.
could help them step back in the right direction
Yeah.
from Accrington. But yeah, I think for this weekend, definitely Ipswich. As you mentioned, I was going to say exactly the same things and tip them as well. So that's that then for League One. Nice and brief. League Two.
Yeah.
Who takes your eye from League Two?
Yeah, I mean, I think I know one that you're going to read out, so I'll try and avoid that one because again, it's quality over quantity. But we do have a team with the best home record in the league above evens at home, so that sounds
Can't
tasty.
complain about that, can we?
Can't complain, mate. Mansfield, 2.04, so it is literally like an absolute whiff over evens, but it is. They've got the joint best home record in the league this season, as I just mentioned. Recently as well, just to kind of give you a little taste of what Mansfield have been up to, they've beaten Swindon and Salford and almost got a draw against Middlesbrough. And I just mentioned how high I have Middlesbrough in my mind at the moment. That was in the cup. And to be honest with you, if it wasn't for a dodgy linesman, they probably would have got a draw against them. And they're playing against a Walsall team that just find any league table, find Walsall, and just draw a massive question mark over them because they're sat in mid-table and they're so confusing. They're so up and down. Matt Taylor, you may remember the Portsmouth volley specialist who's the manager, he even went to the press and said he's confused. He doesn't understand why there are random drop-offs in performances, why they look good one week and then they look pathetic the next. Like they are your classic mid-table team where you can barely trust them. And Walsall, if Mansfield are at it, Walsall are going to have to put in an 8, 9 out of 10 performance to make it a game, and I just don't see it. The last eye-catching result that I saw for Walsall was the 23rd of November, a 1-0 away win at Port Vale. They've won one game in that time between then and now, and yeah, it just shows how inconsistent they are and how much you basically cannot trust Walsall. But I feel like at home, I can trust Mansfield to get a certain level of performance.
Yeah, definitely. Nice segue into another team at home who you can always trust to put in a certain level of performance, and that is Tranmere. Joint best home record in the league along with Mansfield. They've won 6 of the last 7 games in League Two. They won 9 of their 12 home games. I'll do that again. I'm going to edit that bit out. They've won 9 of their 12 home games this season. Lost 3, conceded just 6 goals in 12 games at home. So keep it very, very tight. So you've got this really strong home team in Tranmere against a side in Rochdale who are very kind of pretty much mid-table, aren't they? Win one, lose one. You know, very middling. So you'd think at home with the record they've got, Tranmere should have more than enough to dispatch this Rochdale side who are now short of a few players. I think they sold Jake Beasley to Blackpool in the week as well. So he'll be a loss for them. And they shouldn't have anything to trouble Tranmere really now.
So I've got 2 little pieces of info to add on to that because I am also pro Tranmere. This is a top 4 in reverse order for best defences in the top 4 leagues. So obviously Manchester City have played less games than Tranmere Rovers because the Premier League has less teams, etc. So I've worked it out, goals conceded per 90. Okay. And this is league action only. So 4th best defence in England, Wolves, 0.73 goals per 90. 3rd, Rotherham United, 0.70 goals per 90. Tranmere in 2nd, 0.62 goals per 90. And top, Manchester City. So Tranmere was 0.62, Man City 0.61.
Ooh.
So Tranmere are almost above Man City in this
Wow.
particular league table. But yeah, that's how well Tranmere have done. Is it sustainable? Who knows? We mentioned last week they did this at the start of the season. They had a little window where they conceded almost all their goals, and now they're back to type again. So who knows how long it will go, but let's enjoy the ride. And the final thing, Tom, Rochdale, I had a look into their last 22 games in all comps. I noticed they had 3 wins, a 3-0 win against Newport in the league, an FA Cup replay because they played against Notts County in the previous round. So non-league Notts County they managed to beat. And the 3rd win, Tom, and the furthest one away from the present, was a 1-0 win against Tranmere. So,
Oh.
so let's hope that history doesn't repeat itself. But yeah, I'm all in on Tranmere.
Cool. Anything else you like?
No, it's time to, for the last time, maybe recap both bomb-proof trebles. As
Hang
now,
on. Wait on, player. I've got not so much a tip, more of like a
last-minute
banana,
League Two. Okay,
a last minute banana skin,
okay.
I'd say. It's not a tip. Exeter are priced at 1.56 at home to Scunthorpe this weekend. I've been a big Exeter fan earlier on in the season. They're in some pretty shocking form at the moment. No wins in the last 6. I would say at 1.56 for Exeter, when we've already read out, Middlesbrough, 1.51, I think they were, at home to Reading. It's a very similar price in Middlesbrough, who are on miles better form against a woeful team in Reading, at a similar price to Exeter, who are in no sort of form whatsoever, against a team in Scunthorpe, who, whilst they're down at the bottom of the league, they're actually showing a little bit. So, yeah, I just think don't go anywhere near Exeter.
I think that's brilliant advice. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I looked at Exeter and I thought, God, no. Even against Scunny at home. Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Any more last-minute invites to the party?
No. Just, we've spoken about Mansfield at over evens, Tranmere at over evens, and you got Exeter at 1.56. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. Don't go anywhere near them.
Agreed. I feel like the market has basically looked at the fact that they're playing second bottom and just chucked a price up there. But good advice, Tom. So as I was saying, maybe the last time that we recap both bomb-proof trebles, to be honest with you. So my treble last week was called the Stone Island treble because they were all away days. Turns out the garment was fake, to be honest with you. I had Oldham Sutton postponed on me. I had Oxford away at Lincoln. They lost 2-0. And then I had Southampton to beat Swansea. At full time, it was 1-1. Obviously, Southampton went on to win in extra time, but that leg would not have won. So it was a loser.
Yeah. Mine was, it's frustrating. We always say, don't back the early kickoff. People on Twitter say, don't back the early kickoff. We backed the early kickoff because we weren't really sure what to go for because it was FA Cup. And there were a lot of early kickoffs, to be fair. But, I had Derby on the double chance in the early kickoff. And they lost 1-0 to Coventry, which torpedoed the treble before the 3 o'clock games even begun. And then in the 3 o'clocks, I had Ipswich away at Gillingham, who won 4-0, and Tranmere at home to Scunthorpe, who won 4-0. So easy and comfortable as you like in the other two. It's just a shame Derby couldn't at least get a draw from their game at Coventry.
Yeah, I mean, it had to be them, didn't it? It had to be them. Absolutely so frustrating, because how many times do you get 2 out of your 3 legs winning 4-0 and not come out a winner? Couldn't believe it. But it happened. But now, Tom, we're joining forces. We're putting our brains and our research and everything together with the power of Matchbook. What can stop us? So yeah, we've got our first exclusive treble. Tom, I will give you the honours of reading it out with the price available for the masses.
Okay, so you can get for our first Matchbook treble, Middlesbrough at home to Reading. We're also going to go for Wigan away at Doncaster, and finally Tranmere at home to Rochdale. And you can get that best priced on Matchbook at 5.0.
Yeah, absolutely delighted with that price. We ourselves and Matchbook did a little test earlier on. We checked out the market for this treble, and it was officially the best price. So you can do your own research if you would like to see with your own eyes, but this is enhanced to give you guys the best opportunity to get some profit in your back pocket. And remember, if you are a new account, should I say, you've got that £20 back as cash if your first bet loses offer in the other back pocket, ready to go. So yeah, it's pretty much risk-free at this stage. So I can't think of any more ammunition you would need to go out and check out Matchbook, to be honest.
Yeah, okay. That's that then. Let's have a look at the best section of the show today, which is the Fantasy Premier League section.
Yeah.
Right. The average is 46 this week. What did you get?
37.
I got 101.
Bloody hell. The highest recorded in England was 129.
Yeah.
So you were not far off being the best in the country.
I think this is like the best week I've ever had in my life on fantasy football.
To be honest, it might be. I've just looked at my team, and I can see 3 alarming issues. Edouard Mendy, Said Benrahma, Mohamed Salah, and Callum Wilson are still in it. Right, that needs changing. Take it away, Tom. You did really well, as you alluded to, and you want to tell everyone about it.
Yeah, just looking at that. If I captained Jared Bowen, he got 42 points. If I'd have triple captained him, I'd have got 21 more points, and that'd have just been 7 below like the highest score in the country. That'd have been pretty cool, wouldn't it? But anyway, I've gone up to 114th in the league, so I'm still doing pretty shit. The top 10, let's read them out, shall we? We've got Charlie Donnelly in 10th, then up to 1st, Vincent Rayner, Caspers Graver, Sam Barnard, Oliver Hogburn, David Doherty, Chris Hindle, Chantal Cruikshanks, Luke Stevens, and David Brown with Browntown. Top of the tree, 1,378 points for David. So, yeah, current winner.
Fair play, mate. Fair play. Might have to get on a Zoom call with him and get some tips, because I'm down in 253rd at the moment. So I'm clinging on to survival, to be honest with you.
So like, the annoying thing about the league, though, I think I'm good because I got 101 points. You know, you look at the top of the league and people have got like, there's a 97 in there, 83, 84, 81, 86s I can see here. So other people have done really well, which makes me feel like
well, it's our own fault, because when we started this, we had like 20 people. It was just us and our mates in it. And now we've grown as a podcast. We've got 261 teams in the league, and now the standard is higher than ever. to be
Yeah,
honest.
it is. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a £20 free bet on offer for the winner. If you're not part of the league, you can join, and you will go in your rightful position. If you deserve to be 90th, you'll be 90th. So yeah, you can ask us for the league code on Twitter, T_FB podcast. Twitter's a great place for a follow. We've got little snippet videos. We've got midweek Twitter tips. We've got occasional statistics and banter memes that fly around. So we really, really encourage you to give us a follow there, and maybe we'll follow back.
Yeah, you're doing some great stuff on Twitter right now. So yeah, please do everyone check that out. And if you have enjoyed the show, please leave us a rating or review wherever you listen to your podcast. We'd really appreciate that one.
Yeah, we would. So thank you for listening/watching today. Really appreciate it. Thanks again to Matchbook for their support. And yeah, wishing you all the best.
Yeah, good luck for the weekend, guys, and we'll see you next week.